at the beginning, I would like to introduce the pediatric inflammatory non-infectious diseases that were traditionally classified as autoimmune diseases. For these diseases, it was somehow characteristic that they had antigen-specific activation of adaptive immune systems, such as autoreactive T cells or autoreactive B cells with autoantibodies production. On the other side are autoinflammatory diseases, and this term autoinflammation was first proposed in 1999. These diseases are characterized, in contrast to autoimmune diseases, by antigen-independent hyperactivation of the innate immune system. So these diseases are characterized clinically with spontaneous attacks of systemic inflammation without any apparent infectious or autoimmune etiology, and they cause a production of inflammatory cytokines, including IL-1 beta, IL-1 6, IL-1 18, and so on. What activates this hyperactivation of the immune system? This could be different endogenous or exogenous stimuli, and I would particularly like to focus on familial autoinflammatory syndromes. But first, I would like to show a concept of immunologic disease continuum. Based on what I showed about autoimmunity and autoinflammation, we can divide two groups of pediatric inflammatory non-infectious diseases as those that are driven by adaptive immunity, or autoimmune diseases, and those that are driven by some irregularities, some disturbances in innate immune system or autoinflammatory diseases. The concept of immunological disease continuum somehow joins both views and states that most of the diseases includes both components, autoinflammatory and autoimmune components, with addition contributing factor of environmental triggers. To show this on a slide, if you can see my arrow, on this adaptive immunity side, you can see the monogenic autoimmune diseases, which are monogenic, inherited, inborn errors of immunity involving T and B cells. On the other far end are monogenic diseases of innate immunity, so these common monogenic autoinflammatory diseases. In between, there are several much more common diseases, such as systemic juvenile idiopathic arthritis, Crohn's disease, and other diseases that share both components of autoinflammation and autoimmunity. Certain diseases are a little bit more linked to autoinflammatory sites, such as systemic juvenile idiopathic arthritis, and certain diseases more on the side of autoimmunity, such as, for example, systemic lupus erythematosus or myasthenia gravis. And on this figure, you can also see environmental triggers as an additional modifiers of this clinical phenotypic expression of these diseases.